Welcome back to the program, everybody. Welcome back to another show. Welcome back to another episode. Good morning to all of my viewers, listeners, and Soul Tribe family. The name of this program is called It's a Conspiracy, but It Ain't No Theory. On today's episode, I'm going to be discussing gang stalking plus, surviving the New World disorder per usual, surviving manufactured chaos, surviving manufactured karma, surviving white genocide, and surviving the electronic targeting holocaust. My name is Adrienne Alese. I am the author and creator of a book trilogy called Lucy's Lair Part 1, 2, and now 3. Lucy's Lair is a book trilogy reflecting my life as a survivor of rape culture, child sex trafficking, and psychological gas chambers. On this program, I advocate for women's rights, basic human rights, and the rights of those disabled. I also advocate on behalf of the foster children in the CPS systems, orphans, single mothers, foster mothers, and those less fortunate. Targeted individuals or trafficked victims are predominantly women. 65 to 70% of targeted individuals are white. American women are those who identify as such. This makes gang stalking an illegal operation or hate crime that is sexually and politically motivated towards American women and their children. This program is a dedication to the targeted individual community. The objective of the opposition or the counterintelligence program, COINTELPRO 2.0, is to subvert all of the target's potentiality, to terminate and to punish all supporters and sympathizers, to round down the target's output and audience, to marginalize the target, to eliminate connections and networking ability. All right, so when Geron watches porn, it likes to synchronize that so it can simulate feelings of rejection, which was done this morning. It's pretty much a weekly routine. Geron likes to start his week off what he considers the quote right way, and he does this by jacking off and watching porn, and then of course the COINTELPRO or all of these gang stalking operatives, they will synchronize their street theater with his decision, his choice to masturbate watching porn versus, being with his, I don't even know what you would consider me, where he's not my boyfriend, he is my sugar daddy. So I'm his sugar baby, and so this is also being done so they can facilitate proxy wars to incite feelings of inadequacy. All of this plays into or ties into this gender-based hate crime. So I have some notes here that I'm going to be reviewing, and I'm just going to be briefly going over how my training is going so far at the grocery store. And before I get started, I just wanted to say that apparently my best friend lost his mother this past week on like the 20th or the 21st. And Geron just recently went to 2 funerals back to back about 2 weeks ago. He was at a cousin's funeral, and then he went to his grandmother's funeral. So I've been having to deal with him popping up and popping out, in and out, and leaving to be at these funerals. And then before he even left this last funeral, he was told that a cousin of his or an uncle of his and somebody else had died in his family. So Geron's been going to quite a few funerals as well. But so anyways, I wanted to review these notes. One of the things that I wanted to start by saying is how this COINTELPRO is sending people into the grocery store with diseases to try to make me sick. Usually it'll be like a cold sore on their lip or something of the sort. And it's doing a whole bunch of subtle tactics to try to get me to leave. And then I have a video clip of Donald Trump talking about illegal aliens taking jobs away from the black community. And So I'm going to be reviewing that a little bit. But to continue with the notes here that I've been taking at work, since I can't really video record this ongoing hate crime that's currently taking place in my life and affecting those around me. So now you guys can pretty much see why, more or less, I am always in an abusive relationship. It's the COINTELPRO's opinion that we are all born into debt, so no baby is innocent. And so they take it upon themselves to keep the trauma of patients or trauma victims in a traumatic cycle or in a traumatic loop. So it's never really free. And so anyways, desensitizing trauma patients by reintroducing external stimuli that is painful. Any trauma and every trauma is recycled and put back into the context or into the subcontext to prolong the suffering. And then that trauma will be synchronized with an electronic harassment attack that will facilitate an electronic holocaust. And so I'm still dealing with Geron's deceit and his lies and his manipulation. So it's been about 6 years that I've been in the relationship, and I've been prioritizing my relationship, and I've been mistreated the entire time. I really honestly don't understand how these one-night stands turn into 6-year relationships, but they do when you're a trafficked victim like myself. So by all means, if you're a single man, go ahead and watch as much porn as you want. But if you're in a committed relationship, a man who dedicates or commits his time to watching porn versus, making love to you, that's a form of deprivation. That is a sexually and politically motivated hate crime. And then, of course, these gang stalkers will synchronize the attack, and they do this to simulate feelings of rejection and to try to make me feel like I'm last. So a lot of the honeypots are a lot younger. Typically they are between the ages of 10 and 15 years younger, and so they're in like college age honeypots that they're forcing me to compete with, and they are using a psychological form of coercion called triangulation. So I'm always competing. I'm forced to compete for his time, for his money. He's got sex addictions, and so he pays these prostitutes online. And that is the real reason why he doesn't have any money. That is the real reason why he's always asking his mom to bail him out. That is the real reason why he always needs to borrow money. So now, as it stands, I have 2 jobs, and I am currently working to get him out of debt. So that way, I'm supporting his sex addictions all the way around. So this is trafficking on every scale, on like all the way around. I don't even know how else to put it. And one of the things that they will do is these gang stalkers have been coming into the job where I work at, and they're performing their trauma-based mind control, and they're synchronizing their attacks. A lot of the times what they will do after I go on my break is they will come in there to color harass me, and they will be harassing me with the color green. And so it'll come out and it'll be bumping a song like the 50 Cent song, "You Think I'm Gonna Be Chasing a Chicken Head, You Want Something." Well, that's precisely what it's doing. So, and then it also uses a tactic called directed conversation, where it is mimicking private discussions or private purchases or private information that it's obtaining from the technological device. And this is a form of domestic espionage. Or, it'll mimic schizophrenia. It will basically say what it is that I'm saying in the privacy or in the confinement of my home. So anyways, to continue, to have honeypots that are so jealous of my success that they're trying to sabotage my relationship and cause feelings of inadequacy and insecurity is a compliment. It just goes to show how insecure, petty, and jealous they really are. But these predator stalkers They are psychosadists, they're spiteful, they're jealous and insecure. And as a way to eliminate competition, they will attack the relationships. And I don't just mean the boyfriend, I mean the friendships and the family as well. So this is why these targets or these trafficked victims are in abusive relationships. It shouldn't be a fight just to be able to leave a relationship, but it is. If you're fighting for your freedoms and you're still not free, that is a trafficked situation all the way around. And as I continue to report on these hate crimes, I am continuously targeted, and I am continuously called crazy, and I am continuously gaslit, which is another form of exploitation and another form of trafficking. So anyways, it's trying to mind control misfortunes because it needs as much narcissistic supply as it can get so it can continue the ritual and keep the karmic cycle or the karmic wheel open. It's facilitating proxy wars and ambient abuse. They are, these gang stalkers who work for this NATO or this COINTELPRO, they are responsible for all of the political conflicts in the trafficked victims' relationships. And this is done to incite domestic violence and cheating scandals. This is happening from the outside and making its way in. In my opinion, Jerron was hired to do a job. That job was to make sure that I was safe and secure. I've gotten hurt. So at this point, whatever happens to him is entirely on him. I have absolutely no empathy towards him whatsoever. So to continue. So as a reflection of my inner beauty, instead of starting these conflicts, what I have been doing is just trying to ignore it, save it for the show, save it for the program. And like I said, pick and choose my battles. And when the police are called out, once the PSYOP is successful, triangulating and putting the female trafficked victim last in the relationship and making sure that the state-paid actors, porn stars, or honeypots are taking the money and consuming the time and the money of the male counterpart. Once this has all successfully happened, once the male is being a violently aggressive wife beater and who's negligent and abusive and who abandons us pretty much on a daily basis. Once this is all effective and once it's all been happening from A to Z, from the top to the bottom, from the out in, when the cops are finally called out, for me, they won't do anything. They'll just come out to interrogate and to maliciously harass or to perform trauma-based mind control, and they don't actually ever take the report because they know what it is that's going on and they want this to be happening. This is a part of this so-called karma. So none of the reports are being tracked or taken accurately, which is another reason why I do this program. And then, of course, when the police do get called out, in the event that they are here, they don't do their jobs. They just gaslight. And they will try to attempt to arrest myself, which is why I don't call them. And I get put kind of like in a corner where I have to defend myself because I don't have any real protection. And this is all perpetuated by these dirty police and corrupt politicians or wealthy patrons who pay to see these female trafficked victims tortured and abused ritualistically because of the neurolinguistic programming. And this pretty much makes the female trafficked victim compete for money, attention, love, support, affection, sex, food, just pretty much anything, you name it. And just about any and all reliable resources are already used up before they even make its way towards the female trafficked victim, which is the deprivation, and that's the goal of the psyop. It uses fear of death, and it will come into the store wearing all black all of the time, as if to signify or symbolize a funeral. It is facilitating classism to systemically segregate and to keep the female trafficked victim isolated, lonely, and afraid. Yeah, so this counterculture is absolutely spiteful and hateful and jealous in every single way. It is jealous of my beauty, it's jealous of my inner beauty, it's jealous of my body, my face, my hair, my tattoos, it's jealous of my singing voice. It's basically every time that these psychosadists and these gang stalkers and these narcissists that work for these COINTELPRO, every time they come around to Hoover to perform these proxy wars, it is basically just a backhanded compliment. It is allowing me to know how deeply wounded and insecure it really is, how afraid it really is. And usually it's afraid because I'm speaking the truth and it's a whole entire lie. So, like, for instance, it'll send somebody in there who is the polar opposite of myself. Like, I'm hardworking. I work 3 jobs, and that is something I highly doubt that these gang stalkers do. I'm pretty sure none of these gang stalkers work 3 jobs. I get my work ethics from my grandmother, probably, and might even get it from my real mother. But so anyways, like I was saying, I have 3 jobs, and I don't think that these gang stalkers have 3 jobs. I don't think they work hard. I think they're lazy. I think that kind of just goes without being said. I think that in like 10 and 15 years, when they get to be about my age, they won't have as nice of a body as they think they have at 20 or 25. And I think that's a part of their karma, and I think that because they're so lazy, it's going to sit around and just continue to gain and gain and gain, just like its parents, just like its grandparents, and so on and so forth. It's rotten. It's spoiled rotten. It can't afford proper education. It relies on its parents entirely for that, way too much. And so, yeah, so it may have access to education. It might even be in some sort of prestigious college or something like that, but it doesn't pay for any of that itself. It lives at home with the opposition, that I'm referring to. It lives at home with its parents. It's probably going to be like a 40-year-old virgin who still lives at home with its parents. And there's nothing, in my opinion, that's worse than a welfare queen other than the honeypots or these psychosadists that work for this counterculture. And, these people never leave the home. They never leave the nest. So they're going to be there forever, which is also a part of their karma. And I just think it's funny because when it takes photos, it's taking photos of itself in its parents' fucking house. And it doesn't even take care of itself. Just like Duran, it can't take care of itself. It relies heavily on its occult family unit or narcissistic family unit. And anytime it needs a bailout, all it has to do is call and ask for some money, and it's just that simple. And it will have the family believe that the reason why it's always in debt is something that I did because it's supporting me. That is not true. The reason why Duran is in debt and always needs money is because of his porn addictions on OnlyFans, which, by the way, I'm not even good enough for him to subscribe to. And of course, there's always some stupid, long, never-ending fucking explanation or excuse, which is a big deal when you have an entire culture of gang stalkers who will simulate that in order to incite feelings of inadequacy, jealousy, insecurity, and so on, feelings of rejection, simulating all of this. for the wealthy patrons' gratification. They literally jack off to our suffering. That's what this torture porn and this PSYOP, this slow kill program is all about.